learning about how to graph the parabola here, and this is the equation given. So y equals to negative x squared plus 6x. Now how we can graph the parabola here with this given equation? First of all, that's not a vertex form. So if it's not a vertex form here, this is actually a standard form. So standard form looks something like this here: y equals to ax squared plus bx plus c here. So this is kind of the standard form looks like right now we don't have the c is always a constant. We don't have it here. It's like a 0, but no need to write the 0 here. So it's the same thing as writing y equals to negative x squared plus 6x. And because you know what, we don't have the c here, which is it's still a standard form here. Now how to graph any standard form? This one here is the standard form. If you have the standard form and you want to graph it here, step number one is going to be we're going to convert the standard form into the factored form here. How to do that here? By doing the factoring. Okay, so right now I'm going to do the factoring to this equation here to find out what are gonna be the equation of the factored form, and then I will be able to graph this here. Let's see. So y equals to negative x squared plus 6x. So something is common right between these two terms here. First of all, whenever the first term is gonna be negative here, we're always going to factor out the negative. That means it's gonna be y equals to negative. Now both the terms has, this is the x square. Now the x square means x times x, and the bottom here is 6x. It is, if you're writing the number and a variable all together, it means 6 times x. Like there is no sign between that here, 6 and the x. It means it's a 6 times x. Now just see there in both the terms here what's common. So we see 1x common in both the terms. So that is common here. So this is something we're going to factor it out. Now see, we are taking the negative as well as the x from both the terms here. So what is gonna be left? Okay, let's see. So remember that this one was negative x squared. It's like negative x times x. We are taking out the negative. X is gone, so just one x is left here because negative is gone also. This is the positive here. Now remember, the positive divided by this negative will be a negative here. Now from the 6x, if I take out the x here, we're gonna left with the 6. So these are the factors over there. Now this looks like a factored form. Remember that here the factored form goes something like this here: y equals to a brackets x minus the r, x minus the s. Now why we say this is as a factored form here? Because we can easily find out the x-intercept from here. We can easily find out the x-intercept, we can easily find out the zeros in here. Are the r value and the s values, these are the x-intercept. Okay, so what I can do right now, this one is just the x here. So I can leave the negative as it is. Now the x only means x minus 0 because x minus 0 will still be the x. Then we already have x minus 6. Now if we compare these two here, because r and the s both are, r and s both are going to be the zeros, both are the x-intercept here. So I can easily identify what would be the x-intercept here, the r and the s value. Let's find out. So it's x minus r. Here we have x minus 0. So we clearly see if we compare that r is 0. Another one, the s, it's x minus s. This is x minus 6. So we easily see that s is the 6 here. So s is just the 6. So that means we know that here the x-intercept, remember at x-intercept the y will be 0 because the point is gonna be on the x-axis. Okay, so the s is 6 here. That means the x value will be 6. And what about the y? Because this is the x-intercept, y will be 0. Same thing here, the x is 0 here, and because it's the x-intercept, y will definitely be 0. So these are going to be our x-intercept. And because we are graphing this here, we need to know, because that's a parabola here, there will be a vertex in the parabola. We need to find out what would be the vertex here. Let's see how we're going to identify the vertex. So how to find out the vertex here? What is the formula for finding the vertex? I'm just going to erase this part here. We don't need it anymore. Let's do it. Okay, so remember, if you want to find out the vertex in standard form, in any form here, like this is the factored form, how to find the vertex in that here? Let's see. It will be the h value, and then the k. Again, what is the h value represents here? That is going to be the x value of the vertex. The k value will be the y value of the vertex. Okay, so let's find the h value here. Remember, the h is same thing as finding the x. So x is going to be, formula for that is going to be, we're going to add up the zeros and divide by 2. The zeros are r and the s values, so we're going to add the r and the s, divide by 2. The r value is 0 plus the s is 2, sorry, the s is 6 right over there, divide by 2. So let's solve. 0 plus 6, that's a 6 here. 6 divided by 2, that's just gonna be 3 here. So this is the x value we got it, but as I told you, what is the h value? It's the same thing as finding the x. So that means the h, we can say that's a 3 here. And if the question is going to ask you for finding the x's of symmetry here, so this is gonna be the equation of the x's of symmetry. Again, what is gonna be the axis of symmetry? It's going to divide the whole parabola into two equal parts. The axis of symmetry is basically a vertical dotted line which is always going to pass through the vertex. Alright, so now we just got the h value. Now we need to find the k. How to find the k here? Now k is the same thing as finding the y. So we're going to pick up the equation here. So our equation of the parabola here, what is the original equation, you can take it, or the factored form, doesn't matter. So negative x squared plus 6x. Now we know that the x is 3 here. So we're going to replace the x3 over there. So negative is already there. X will be 3. Then there is a square. Then 6 times the x, which is 3. Let's do it. So negative is just gonna stays the same. Let's see. So we have y equals to, this negative stays the same. 3 squared is 9. Then 6 times 3, that's gonna be 18. Now negative 9 plus 18, that's gonna be just the 9 here. This is the y value, which is also the k here. So we can say the k is gonna be at 9. Why is that here? Why the y was the k value? Remember, in the vertex, the k is the y value here. Now, because I was just not using any x value, but I was using this particular x value here, which is the x is equals to 3 here. That means at what the axis of symmetry tells you, that means it tells you that at this x value, there will be a vertex. That means we know that the vertex occurs when x is equals to 3. So we know that since the vertex occurs at x equals to 3, using this x value I can find out the y here, because that y value will be the y value in the vertex here. What is gonna be the vertex? The vertex is going to be, we know the h value is gonna be 3 here. And what is the k value? We just got that the k is 9. So h is 3 and k is 9 here. So this is gonna be the vertex. That means right now in this question here, I know the x-intercept, which is this 0, 0 and 6, 0, and we know the vertex here. Now let's graph this 3 points here. Let's see. Okay, just going to draw my y-axis and the x-axis. So this is the x-axis, that's the y-axis. So x is 3 here, so 1, 2, 3. So here the x is 3. And at the vertex here, what is the y value? That is the 9 here. So we're gonna be plotting this point. So x right now is 3. Okay. So x is 3 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and here the y is 9. So the point is gonna be x3, y is 9. So this is where the vertex is gonna be. Now let's draw the x-intercept. 1 is at 6, 0. So 6, 0 is right over there. 6, 0 here. 6, 0 means since the y is 0, the point will be on the x-axis. Another one, 0, 0, that is the origin here, which is right over there. Now because we just have 3 points only, one is the vertex, so that is the vertex over there, and these are the x-intercept here in this one, that is the x-intercept. Now the thing is, because we need more points also, so remember we learned about the step pattern here. So what does the step pattern here is? So step pattern is going to be the a value will multiplies by 1, 3 and 5. So like right now, if we see what is the a value in this equation, see right now whatever the coefficient of the x squared, that is where the a is. So coefficient of the x squared, there is just a negative, no number here, it means -1. So we see that the a is gonna be equals to -1. So a here is -1, then that will multiply by 1, 3 and 5. Let's see. So -1 times 1, that's -1. -1 times 3, that's -3. Then -1 times 5, that's -5 here. Again, we can write it like -1 over 1, -3 over 1, -5 over 1. What does the first one means here? It means the rise over run. The top is representing the rise and the bottom is representing the run here. So rise and overrun. So if the number is positive, we go up. That's what the rise means. If it's a negative, we go down. Run means if it's a positive, we go to the right. If it's a negative, we go to the left. See the first one, it's a -1 over 1 here. Since the top number here is negative, so rise is negative. So when the rise is negative, we go down. Run is just the positive one. When it's positive one, we go to the right. So that means you can start from any point. So we can start from the vertex right over there. So from this vertex, because it's a -1, so we go down by 1 unit. So go down by 1 unit, move right by 1. So here will be the next point. So next up, -3 over 1, following the same thing. Top is negative, means going to go down, and the bottom is +1, so going right. So going down by 3 units. Okay, so rise here is the top is the rise. If the rise is negative, we go down. So we're gonna go down by, but how many units? It's a 3 here, so go down 3 units. The run is +1 here. So when it's a positive, we go to the right. Right by how many units? It's a 1 here, so right by 1 unit. So from the point we just plotted here, this one, we will go down by 3 units. So 1, 2, 3, move right by 1. So here. Next up is -5 over 1 here. Same thing. Top is the rise, the bottom is the run here. If the rise is negative, we go down. So down by, it's a 5 here, so down by 5. The bottom is the run here. Run is positive, so when we go right. So right by 1. So from the point we just plotted here, we will go down by 5 units, then right by 1. Let's go down by 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right by 1. So point is already plotted here. Okay, now notice one thing here. Axis of symmetry is going to be the dotted vertical line passes through the vertex. So this is the vertex here. We're just gonna draw the dotted vertical line passing right through the vertex here. This is the vertex. So we're gonna just draw right through that here. And because we need to remember the parabola is like a U-shaped graph here, so to draw the U-shaped graph we need other points also. So every these points over there, we're going to reflect it over this dotted line. See, this point is 1 unit away from the dotted line, so 1 unit away from the dotted line. On the other side we're going to plot the point. Same thing, this point is 2 units away from the dotted line, so same 2 units away from the dotted line. On the other side we're going to plot that. This point is 3 units away, so on the other side 3 units away, there is already here. So we are just going to join all of these points here, and that's going to be our parabola. The graph of the given equation, this is gonna be. That's all. So this is how we're gonna draw the graph here. So whenever you have been given the standard form here, so we're going to factor it out. So we're gonna get the factored form. After finding the factored form, your factor would look something like this way here. So just identifying the r and the s values, those are going to be the x-intercept. We got the x-intercept. Now using these x-intercept, we're gonna find the vertex, finding the h value first, which is same as x here. Formula is gonna be adding up the zeros divided by 2. Zeros are still the x-intercept. So zeros are r and the s, then divide by 2. And we got this x value here, which is same as the h value. plugging this x value will give us the y, which will be the k. So we're gonna plug that x value into the given equation. You can use the factored form or the given original one here, doesn't matter. So when I plug the x equals to 3 here, we got the y 9. That means the k will be 9. So we know the h and the k. The h will be 3 and the k will be 9. So we actually got the vertex here. So we're going to plot this point, then plot out the x-intercepts, and then remembering the step pattern, which is actually going to help us in plotting out the other points after the vertex. So follow this through. If there is any doubt that you don't understand it, let me know.